studies. Right now we are discussing about the second managerial function, which is the organizing, right? So far we have completed 4 chapters and we are in the midst of 5th chapter. And what have we discussed about organizing? Which chapter are we doing? We are doing organizing, which is the 5th chapter. So we have discussed various things about organizing, like the concept, the importance, right? Then steps in organizing, how to organize it, what is the importance of it, and everything we have discussed. Then in the previous session we have discussed about the importance and organization structure. What is an organization structure? A proper structure. According to Peter Drucker, it is an indispensable mean. Right, according to Peter Drucker, it is an indispensable mean. As the organization grows and expands, you definitely need to have a proper structure. The format in which you go is called as a organization structure. In this session, we are going to discuss the types of organization structure. Yes, every organization will differ based on the organization structure. That is the structure it follows. Basically, it is about the delegation of job. Organizing is what? First, you need to clarify the job and you need to implement the plans. Of course, you have to give the clarity in the working relationships. So, this differs from one organization to another organization. Out of this, one important term that we have missed in the previous class that we have to know is the span of management. Okay, what is it? The span of management. What is a span of management? It is the number of subordinates a manager or a divisional head or a superior can effectively manage. What is it? It is the number of subordinates, okay, effectively manage. It's not that 200 employees are given to a superior, but the superior is not able to manage them effectively. Then it is not called a span of management. The exact number of people should be given to each superior to effectively manage. That is to guide them to use human resources effectively. Effectively managed by a superior is span of management. Will it be same for each and every superior, every divisional head? No, it will differ from person to person. Like one superior, one divisional manager who is there for a long time, he will be able to manage so many employees. But a new manager, he might not be able to handle so many employees in the beginning. He or she needs some training, specialization and all these things. Right, later on they will be able to change their span of management. Span is not a limit. Span of attention we say, lifespan we say. Okay, so it's a time frame. Span is exactly a time frame, but here it is the frame, number of people that can be managed by a particular superior. It differs. It is dynamic, it is not constant. Okay, it is not constant. What is not constant? The span of management is not constant. In the beginning, in the first year, I was given 10 people to be managed. Okay, I had 10 subordinates to be managed. Next year, I think I can manage more people, and the management also thinks that yes, this employee is capable of managing more than 10 subordinates. What does my management does? My management will give me 10 more people to be managed. Okay, I have 20 subordinates in the next year. Okay, when you take it in my growth, it will differ. Same way, horizontally, when you compare it with my colleagues, when I am managing 20 people, one might be managing only 15 people, and another one might be managing only 10 people. It differs based on the level of the leadership skill that each employee has. A proper organization structure will ensure what? A smooth flow of communication and better control of the operations of a business enterprise, because the clarity of job, you have the benefits to specialization, right? And clarity in job and in working relationship. This will enable in what? clearly told. That is the reason we say organization structure should be made effective. Okay, because it ensures the proper working of the management. And as the business grows, coordination might get, little distraction because the number of employees are going to be increased. When this happens only, we need a proper organization structure. When we develop our business, what happens? It's not that only one person can manage everything. Okay, earlier I had only 10 people to manage, so I was effectively managing it. Later on, as the business expands, in my department only I have 25 people. So I alone cannot be managing it. Then the organization structure comes where I get an assistant or 2 assistants, and under them few people will be given. Only the assistants, my assistants or my secretaries will be communicating with me and getting the information as well as giving the information. So that is the need of a proper organization structure. Every organization has it within them. It is not only that, it is not imaginary. Okay, it is working right now also in every organization. We have a proper organization structure. When we go for an industrial visit, definitely we will be getting to know what is the organization structure of that particular institution or that particular organization. Okay, after discussing the types of organization structure, I will share my experience of which industrial visits I have been to and what were the organization structures they followed. Okay, so first what are we going to do? We are going to discuss the types of organization structure. What are the various types of organization structure? Now, organization structures are in the base of function and position. So how do we divide it? Okay, organization structure is of 2 kinds. One is called the functional organization. Okay, functional organization. Another one is called the divisional organization. Alright, these are the 2 kinds of 2 categories of organization structure that we have. What are they? Functional structure, functional organization, that is functional structure, or divisional organization, that is a divisional structure. Alright. Alright, what are we going to do first? We are going to discuss in detail about each structure so that we are going to be able to understand what it is. Usually what do? We go into the pros and cons of each space. Right, when we are discussing of some varieties, some kinds, we will be doing what? We will be discussing about the pros and cons to know which will be the best for us. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the pros and cons, and we are going to discuss about the suitability. Which sort of organizations will this kind of functional structure or the divisional structure will be suitable? When you talk about functional structure, it is based on the functions. Functions means managerial functions. Same way, every organization will have a different functions. Like production can be called a function. Alright, staffing. Human resources will be one function. Finding them, recruiting them, selecting them, training them, developing them, everything. And then we will be having sales department. Sales and marketing, we can say. Then we will be having R&D. If we call these as the functions, then each one will be given as a separate department. What happens? Different functions are there, so different departments will be given. Production department, human resources department. department, sales and marketing department, then R&D department. So how would it go if there is a managing director or the chairman? Then under him or her will be having these departments: production, sales and marketing, research and development, and then we have HR, human resources development. In each department they will have their own employees. In production department there will be employee 1, employee 2. Same way in sales and marketing department, R&D department, HR department. So what happens? Everyone belongs to the same field. In production department, what kind of employees do we have? We have employees who will be able to handle machinery, who will be knowing the components of producing a particular good. Alright, who will be knowing about the product in and out will be in production department. Then when we come to sales and marketing, people who know to advertise the product, okay, creating sales, creating marketing plans, then talking about giving offers, discounts, that ideas and all will be there in sales and marketing. R&D department means they will research. So how the product has been sold, survey, they will take surveys, and then they will be discussing about what is the other thing that you need to develop or improve in your product. That ideas will be given. And then HR, then of course one more important department, finance department will be there. So all these department wise, if it is there, if a structure is followed like that, then it is called as a functional department. That is, each major function is given as a separate department and it works individually. That is, all these employees will report to the production head, production manager. These employees will be reporting to the sales and marketing managers. And in turn, what these managers will be doing? They will be reporting to the managing director. So is that an organization structure? There is a clarity of job, right? Each one knows what to do. Then specialization is there. They will develop themselves in the particular field. Related field. Sales and marketing means they will be focusing only on that. They won't do anything else. In research and development team, we will have scientists. So nowadays we are watching the advertisements that this particular disinfectant product or this particular hand sanitizer or this particular cleaning thing has been proven that it is making you free of germs, 99.9% germs. In that, who comes and speaks? A scientist or a doctor. A person is dressed up as a scientist or a doctor. That people will be in R&D department. All the cosmetics that we all use, shampoo, soap, every company will have an R&D department because the chemical components all will be done here. Then the finance department, they will be particular or they will be specialized in maintaining accounts, how to buy, how to get loans, how to pay the interest, salaries, all this will come under finance department. HR department, they will be taking care of all the human resources, people of that particular organization, how to train them, how to develop them, what are the other things we have to do, they have get-together parties, they have relaxation programs. When the employees are stressed out, what the organization does, it gives some relaxation techniques. Even we see in news that Indian military also takes up, meditation, all those things. Why is that? Relaxation. Who gives that? Each military officer goes and does that? No, the Indian government and the Indian military service, they give that. Same way only, each organization, when they have their own personal interest on their employees, they give this facility. That all comes with HR department. Are they all working department, working independently? Actually, they have to work interdependently. Why do they have to work interdependently? All these are interdependent. So what again is important? Coordination and teamwork is important. Yes, specialization is there. Teamwork, clarity in jobs is there. Clarity in working relationships are there. Everything fine in organizing. But what is a good organization structure? All these reports given by them should be carried forward to managing director, and he or she should be able to take them all, direct them all towards the organization's group goal. Clear, children? So that is why we say this organization structure is very, very essential. Now let us discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of this particular method. Which method? Functional structure. Okay? I'm going to talk about the advantages or merits, and we are going to talk about the disadvantages or demerits or limitations. First thing, you guess what will be there? Job specialization. That is, they are serving in the same department again and again. Based on the function they are divided, right? So when they are divided based on their function, definitely job specialization will be an advantage in the functional structure. Why? Because in that particular work, they will be specialized. When someone works in the finance department, they are very well versed in that. They are again and again doing the same process. They are not reporting to any other department. So they will be good in that particular line, in that particular function. They will be able to utilize the manpower correctly. A finance head, for him it will be easy to decide which employee should do what rather than the managing director. Right. So the manpower will be used properly. Human resources will be used properly and the performance will be able to be improved. Okay? Improvement in performance. Alright. What is next? The next point is that it promotes control and coordination. How does it promote control and coordination? Because all of them in R&D department are going to focus on the same thing. So, the R&D head will be able to know that particular details completely. Right? When you have, like in a school, in our school even, all same department staff will be together. The HOD will be able to clarify the subjects. Why? Because they are very well versed, they are specialized in that particular way. Alright? Same way only, the control and coordination will be good because same kinds of work only all are doing. Alright, children. So what is it? The control and coordination is good. What is the next thing? They will not have a problem like within their department because all are doing the same departmental work. Okay? All are doing the same department work, so hence there won't be a problem in department and the head will be knowing it clearly. Now imagine, managing director may not know in detail about the production process. The components to be mixed, the chemicals to be mixed. That are not the managing director may not know. But the production manager will be very well versed in it because of the job specialization. So the control and coordination that provides inside each department is very, very good. Okay? Next one is it will increase the profit. How it will increase profit? How it will increase profit? By increasing the managerial and When operational efficiency and managerial efficiency is there, the resources that is used is very less. In minimum resources, you will be able to work. So that will increase the profit. When the cost is cut down, what is the result? You will get increased profit. Clear? This is how it helps. What helps? The functional structure helps a particular management. What do we do next? Talks about minimal okay, we'll have the minutes here only. Increase this minimal duplication of work. Even though priority is given, still same department means the head will be along with you. To be easy to find out who is doing what, and the same work cannot be repeated. So duplication of work is entirely, what point is this? Point number 5. Avoid duplication of work. Okay, avoid duplication of work. Clear, children? There won't be need of duplication of work. When duplication of work is not there, the cost will be cut down. Cost will be reduced, because when you do something again and again, the cost incurred is more. For example, just take a simple thing. Your dad said that we have to take a photocopy of your Aadhaar card for some submission. Okay, he just said that. You didn't plan it, you didn't organize it. So he went and he took once. You went and you took the photocopy once. Your mom also took one photocopy. It might be used later, but as of now, those resources are wasted because duplication of work. Instead of spending only 1 rupee or 2 rupees, you have spent around 6 to 10 rupees. Paper waste. If you have taken it from your financial resources waste. Just in a small case, just taking photocopy, in that case even duplication of work is not good deeds. Think about a big organization. Every work will involve cost. So time will be waste, financial resources, physical resources, human resources, everything will be waste here. Okay, duplication of work should be entirely avoided. What will avoid it? Functional structure will help us in avoiding the duplication of work. Then, easy training of employees. Easy training of employees. How is it easy? Oh, why is it easy? Because the department head will know where that person, where the employee is lacking, in which particular area he or she is lacking. So they might easily communicate it to HR department and they can say that they have to be trained in that particular area only. If one person has a problem, one person who works in the sales and marketing department doesn't know to work the computer, yes, in every field you need computer, right, in every department. So if that only one person is not able to utilize computers properly means, then they can intimate to HR department that he or she is not good in handling computer, train them in that. Training of employees is easy. At sometimes, even within the department they may train. What is required? Easy to train the employees. That is one more advantage of that. And then each function gets proper attention. Because when a managing director, when one person takes care of each and every function, one function may be skipped. So if a managing director thinks that production is more important than promoting a product, he or she may not concentrate in this. Or I think that promoting the product only is important, selling only is important, means I will not concentrate in production. Goods will not be of quality. Then of course I cannot promote my product. So functional structure ensures that each and every function is getting due attention. Why? Because each and every function is given as a different department. When it works as a separate department, different department, with the help of the departmental heads, it is easy for the employee this. Okay, they can work efficiently and they can use the resources properly. These are the various advantages of functional structure. What are they? So that you have job specialization, performance can be improved, control and coordination is good, then profits are increased, training is easy, duplication of work is entirely avoided, and attention is given to each and every function because they are of different departments. Do you think is that all? That's all. Advantages fine. Do you think there are no disadvantages? Is this column will be empty? No. When there is positive, definitely there will be some negative. Okay. So we have to know the disadvantages also so that we will be able to avoid them or we can take some precautionary measures. Alright. So what are we going to do? What are the demerits? First thing is less emphasis on organizational objectives. That is, when you give the function separately to each department, then each department will have a different objective. They will divide the plan according to them or they might make the plan flexible to them. So this will reduce the emphasis, the importance that is given to the organizational objectives. We saw already that the personal interest should be substituted with the general interest. But here what happens? That particular department will focus their particular work only. Production should be perfect. Nothing else. We don't want to mind about anything. I have produced this year, I have to produce 1,000 units of products. Done. Finished. But if the sales and marketing department is not working well, then this 1,000 units of product will be waste. Isn't it? So each department should be working towards the group goals. My department's work is only production means if the sales is not done, then where will you get profit? You have to face loss only. Isn't it, children? Think as a businessman or a businesswoman or a manager, as I always say. Clear? You have to, in the functional structure, people don't focus, the departments, they don't focus on the organizational objectives, which is focus on their department's objectives. Okay? Then, second thing, problems in coordination. What? Within department or out of other departments? Both will be a problem. It is not sure that we will be able to, coordinate with each one of us in the particular department. And same way, just in the example when we spoke, production is completed 1,000 units, but sales and marketing is not done means there is no coordination. When the managing director asks where is the profit, why so much cost is involved, the production department will say sales and marketing didn't work properly. They didn't sell the product properly is what they will say. What sales and marketing will say? They will say that the production was not good. Goods were not produced in the right quality, that's why we are not able to sell the product. So you will have conflicts. Coordination might not be possible because this department works separately, this department works separately. Each department, when it works separately and individually, it is not expected that all the departments can coordinate with each other. Okay? Then we have conflicts of interest. This point is more or less the same. Within the same department also you might have conflicts of interest. Same way within departments, within two different departments also you might have the problem of conflicts. Interdepartmental conflicts also possible. Intra-departmental conflicts are also possible, which is definitely a disadvantage. Okay? Then what? It is inflexible. Why is it inflexible, children? Because it is fixed. This is the structure. We have to go the same thing. Job specialization is there. People of production department will concentrate only on that. They will not develop or expand their skills. They will be polishing the same skill again and again and again and again and again. For example, You have learned cursive handwriting. You are able to write neatly now. Is that all? Fine. It is achieved. It is achieved means is that over? How are you going to develop the same skill again? You have to learn something new, isn't it? But is it possible in the functional structure? No, it is not possible in the functional structure because you are going to be given the same work. So, an employee will not be able to expand or learn some new skills but remain the same skills. I know cursive handwriting, that's it. But why can't you learn drawing? Isn't it? I know cursive handwriting. My department needs only cursive handwriting. I don't want drawing. You cannot say that. Because it's a different skill. You are going to develop yourself. Same way only happens in an organization also. Clear, children? So after discussing that merits and demerits, we are going to talk about for which kind of organizations is this suitable. The suitability stands with the organization. It is suitable for the organization which needs specialization in work. Okay, that is each work should be specialized. Take in paramedicals. Everybody only not like that. From anyone can go and do that. You know, medicine, chemical handling, all these things. Is that so? No. Then in fields of hospitals. Okay, I got admitted in a hospital means I have to see an ortho doctor. Instead of an ortho doctor, if a cardiologist comes and performs operations for me, is it fine? No. So, what kind of organization structure is essential for a hospital? You need functional structure based on the function. In a firm, you have production, sales and marketing, R&D, HR, everything. But in a hospital, it will be different. No. Based on the functions of that particular organization, the departments will differ. In schools, how do you say English department, Tamil department, science department, commerce department, maths department? Like that we say. Clear? So based on the organization, these departments will differ. So for which organizations will it be suitable? Where specialization in work is required. Where only some set of people will be able to perform job. It is not that anybody can do anything. Okay, I am a business studies teacher. If someone asks me to go and take maths, I can manage for 1 or 2 days. But it will be very difficult for me as well as for my children to understand the topic which nobody will accept. Okay, so here I require high degree of specialization. I have to do it again and again. If I talk about your maths teachers, maths, I can't do maths, but they are doing maths. How? It is because they are highly specialized in it. Right, you will be able to find the difference between a new teacher and a seasoned teacher. So why? Because they are into it again and again and again because they are highly specialized in that particular field. Same way only with doctors. Usually professions they will be doing like that. Clear, children? This is all about functional structure. What are we going to do next? We are going to discuss about the divisional structure. What is this divisional structure? It is actually applicable in firms where different products, different lines of business are available. Okay? Different lines of business are available. How are you saying that? For example, we will take Nestle. Okay? Do you remember the brand name Nestle? N-E-S-T-L-E, Nestle. Nestle produces various things. It produces chocolates, you have biscuits, you have coffee powder. Right? There are different things in Nestle. So, they produce in different departments. Clear? When you talk about Himalaya products, you have soaps in it, you have shampoos in it, you have cosmetic things in Himalaya, many things. You know, nowadays sanitizers are available. Then you have a lot of things in Himalaya. Same way only, each brand will have a divisional structure where different activities are performed. Okay, each activity will be given a separate division which is called the divisional structure. That is, there are various products to be sold. Okay, we'll take what for example? We'll take Himalaya itself for example. Or we'll take Patanjali for example. Many things are available. You have to quote some examples. Himalaya, Patanjali, Procter & Gamble, then what? Many cosmetic items are there. No? Gokul sandal is coming in different things. Mysore sandal is one product. There is one big thing called Karnataka Soaps and Chemicals. That is the original name of the industry. Okay? They produce various things. They have detergent soaps. They have, like Mysore sandal, some other soaps also they have. It's not that Mysore sandal is not the name of the company. It is the name of a product. It produces different things. Take for instance cars or bikes. You have Hero Honda, that is a brand name. Is Hero Honda the only bike in that? There are different things. CT100, then Honda Pleasure is there. Many things are there. In Honda itself you have many things, right? Then in scooty you have TVS. Take for instance TVS. Scooty ES was there, Pep Plus was there, then TVS Excel, TVS Super, TVS 50. Each one are one product, right? Take for instance TVS. You had Scooty, normal Scooty ES was there. Once, then Scooty Pep came. Then Pep Plus came. Then Scooty T9 came. If I am not wrong. Then TVS 50 is there. Then TVS Excel is there. Various products. This is a nice example for divisional structure. One main company which produces various things, and for each thing they have separate departments. Under Scooty ES production, they will have its own production. Okay? Its own HR. Okay? It will have its own finance department. It will have its own marketing. It will have its own research and development. Like this, in each division, you will have the functional structure. The top part is the divisional structure, which has different products. Right? When you talk about each division, the divisional head will be there. Under the divisional head, there will be the functional structure. What is the functional structure? Just now we discussed. Each function will be given as a different department. Not only for ES, even for Pep Plus there will be different functions. Okay? So each division will have separate functions. So this is a combination of both. When you talk about a divisional structure, it itself will have functional structure inside it. You cannot do without functional structure. Each thing has to work, right? So this is very, very important. Where do you use it? When you have different products to sell. More than one category of product to sell. In your book they have given an example where different products, cosmetics, garments like that they have given. I have given different products. In the same company different products are there, and for that each one are different. But when you go to a TVS showroom, you get all these things. Anything you need. Okay, Himalaya will give you cosmetics, baby products, all these things. Then, what else? Procter & Gamble, the brand name that you can take for instance. Nestle, Calvin Klein, many things are there. I want you to find the examples for divisional structure. Okay, children, you have to find the examples for divisional structures. They will work as separate research units, and each one will consist of a functional structure. For example, this works separately and it has different functional areas. So this divisional head is there. No, he or she will be managing all these functions. They work separately, and unlike in functional structure, there will not be any interdepartmental problems because this is different, that is different. still we have disadvantages. We will be discussing about disadvantages later. But this is how we are talking about divisional structure. Now shall we go with the advantages and disadvantages? Who is held responsible here? The divisional head is there. Who he is held responsible? He or she is held responsible for the merits and demerits of it. If we get profit or loss of that particular department, the managing director will be here. The divisional head will be questioned. Okay, their functional structure. It's not about the departmental head. You can blame each other and just come off it. But here, the divisional head will be solely responsible for each and everything. Let it be profit or loss or a change. The divisional head will be the in charge for it. Clear? What are the advantages we are going to discuss? The first thing is in development of varied skills in the divisional head. What are the advantages and disadvantages first things, varied skills will be developed in a divisional head. How? Because the divisional head only should take care of production, marketing, R&D. Previously in functional structure, the production manager will be taking care of the in charge of the related activities, production related activities only he or she will take care. But when you talk about a divisional head, under each division head, you have production, you have sales and marketing. So this divisional head will be able to learn or improve himself or herself with various skills. Okay, various skills that can be developed by the divisional head. Then the divisional head is responsible for anything that happens with that particular division. Let it be profit or loss or any other changes, as I said, performance, everything for the employees, everything. The divisional head is held responsible. So when you have only one division to take care, that person will be more like the head of that particular department or so that particular division. So anything that happens, they will be able to help it out. They will be able to improve the performance of the employees. Clear? The next one is promotes flexibility and initiative. It is flexible. Why is it flexible? Because a divisional head is having all the department, all the functions under him. So when something happens in production and if it is going to affect the R&D development, so research and development, then he or she can coordinate easily. So it is very flexible and it helps in faster decision making. Why? Because the divisional head is responsible. He has all the resources near him. He has all the departments accountable to him. So easily he can come for a decision. Quicker decision making and of course effective decision making is possible in the functional structure. Okay? And then we talk about expansion and growth. Facilitates expansion and growth. Because for a managing director it is easy. Once you fix a department or different line of business, new product, he can give it to a divisional head. That is fixed, done. I have introduced cosmetics, fine, going on. Next I want to go for baby products. I can have it in a different division. I can concentrate on the baby products instead of cosmetics, because for the cosmetics department I already have a divisional head. So it has a wider range of possibility for expansion and growth, because each divisional head is going to handle that particular division. We can just expand by adding one more division and one more divisional head. Clear? Is that all? What about the disadvantages? Do you think this column is going to be empty? Definitely not. What is that? Again, same thing. Conflict among textile business. Another one, you have what shall we take? Provisions. You have provision business, or you have a departmental store. One side you have a textile shop, another side you have a departmental store or a medical shop. Now you have only 10,000 rupees. To whom will you give the 10,000 rupees? Who is in need? So textile shop will say that we are in need, whereas medical shop will say we are in need. So the allocation of funds, there will be a problem, there will be a conflict among different divisions because we need it. Based on the cost also it differ. Which department is incurring more cost? Is it profitable? So there will be a problem. They have got 10,000 rupees as investment. We have got only 5,000 rupees for expansion. Is it good? There will be problems like that. Okay? Then it will increase cost. How? Because under each division there are different departments. Same production is in cosmetics also, same production is in foodware also, same production is in baby product also. So production, under each division all the functions are there. So for each function you have to spare money. Here also for production you have to give money, there also you have to buy raw materials. Cost is increased. Okay, because duplication of activities. Same thing you are doing again and again. Here also you have to maintain accounts, there also you have to maintain accounts. Duplication of activities. Okay? Later on what happens? The divisional head might think that he or she is the owner. Okay? Then, because everything happens according to them. And they might not concentrate on the organizational interest. In the organizational interest. They might be focusing on only their division, but they will not be focusing on the entire organization. All these divisions will come under the same organization. Isn't it? All these divisions will come under the same organization. But when you give it as different divisions, the divisional head will think that his department or his division is more important than the others. So that person will be focusing only on his or her department and not on the organization. Clear? That's why we say that they will not be focusing on the organizational interest. So now we have discussed the advantages and disadvantages. What is the next thing that we are going to discuss? The suitability. To which kind of organization is it suitable? Where different products are produced. Where various products or a variety of products are produced. Okay, where a variety of products are produced and they don't have connection with each other, then we need a divisional structure. When we are expanding and when we are growing, we definitely need a proper divisional structure. It should be modified also. How it should be modified? You have to review as a businessman or businesswoman or as a manager. You have to review whether the organizational structure is working properly. Should we stay in functional structure or should we go on to divisional structure? Is everything going according to the plan? So it should be flexible also. That is, it should be modified according to the changing business environment. Clear? So there is a small comparative view of functional and divisional structure. Talks about the formation, then specialization and responsibility, managerial development, cost, coordination. So I want you to go through it. Whatever we have discussed in points that they have given just in tabular column. Go through it. What it is very simple. Functional structure formation based on different functions, whereas divisional structure based on various divisions, various products, variety of products, and of course there also functional structure will be included because various functions are done in each division. Specialization, they will talk about functional specialization, where functional structure, functional specialization. Divisional structure, product specialization, about their particular product. Then responsibility, it is very difficult to fix on a particular department because all different departments are there. When you talk about it, easy to fix responsibility for performance because they are different divisions. They all work individually. Managerial development is difficult in functional structure because functional manager has to report to the top management, whereas in divisional structure it is easy because that particular division works separately with the divisional head. So it is very easy for the managerial development. Can expand divisions. Cost. Functions are not duplicated because only one production department will be there. Whereas in divisional structure, for each division you have production department. So the cost incurred in divisional structure is more compared with the cost incurred in functional structure. Coordination in the functional structure it is difficult, okay, because for a multi-product company, because all the departments should coordinate is difficult, whereas in divisional structure it is easy because each division has its own functions. So they all will be together with the divisional manager or the divisional head. Alright children, this is how you have to understand about the functional structure and divisional structure. Kindly refer to some more examples or think about some more examples also, because in the worksheet I am going to ask about your what? About this examples. Clear children? I hope you have understood about this functional structure and divisional structure. What are we going to do next? Formal and informal organization is in deleted portion. So what you can do, you can just go through this in this weekend. Okay, go through the topic in this weekend, what is given there. It is better to know it. It is not that you have to know. It's not for exam, but for knowledge, for developing or updating your knowledge. Just know about what is what. Then in the next class, we will be meeting with delegation. Alright, I hope you are all continually, your worksheets and crosswords, jot down the notes and all those things. And of course, feel free to reach me out in case if you have any doubts in business studies or else in economics also. So, thank you and may you all have a good day today.